Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining on our webinar on finance module of Dynamics 365 Business Central. Those of you who have joined us for the first time, this is the second session of our webinar series on Dynamics 365 Business Central functionalities. So the first session we have covered 2 weeks back, which was on overall, features and functionalities of the ERP, which we have shared through our social media. So you can have a look at it once when you have time. So hereafter, now today we will be covering the finance module overview, and thereafter on every Thursday at 4 p.m. We will be covering certain functionalities like thereafter, after finance module, the sales module, purchasing module. Likewise, we will be covering up a detailed functionality demonstration or through this webinar series. So today, as we said, it is the finance module overview, which will be done by the presenter, Mr. Tisum Tavisha. He is one of our senior members of the functional team, who is also a software engineering graduate out of SLIT. And he has he has a good experience in implementing Dynamics in many of our existing projects in different industries. So with that experience, he will be taking you through the functionalities. And if you have any questions in terms of the solution he's presenting, you can just raise your hand, or you can just drop us a text, and our moderator will get those answered. And if you need any kind of one-to-one session thereafter, you can make a request, and we can do a one-to-one session for you as well. So with that introduction, I will hand over the deck to Tisum. So Tisum will take you through Dynamics 365 Business Central Finance Module Overview. Over to you, Tisum. Thank you.
Thanks, Akshila. Okay, so let me share my screen. Hope everyone can see the screen, right? Is it visible? Akshila, is it okay?
Yes. Can see.
Okay. So good evening, everyone. Today I will be presenting you how to manage your finance with MS Dynamics. So throughout this module, I will give you an overview of the general ledger, the accounts receivable, the accounts payable, and the bank reconciliation. Okay, so this is the first impression overview of the Dynamics, where this whole GUI can be customized according to the relevant user roles and permissions. Okay, so the first feature I will show you is that Dynamics can manage multiple companies in one single database. So we can have multiple companies. If your company has multiple companies, yes, we can manage multiple companies through one single database. Okay, and then, so as I said, this is the first impression overview of the Dynamics. So here we will be getting some system standard insights for the last 3 months. For an example, the best selling item was battery with 5 units sold, and your top your top customer was Farms Pride. His sales value is 1 lakh. Okay, and then the biggest sales order was 40,000, and then the largest postal sales invoice was 100,000. So likewise, you can get some system standard insights for the last 3 months. Okay, and then right, so here we will be getting some systems and generic charts, some system standard generic charts that can be customized according to the user requirements also. So for an example, the first chart, these can be customized according to the user requirements, right? And then this is one chart where you can get a summary of the profit and loss for a month or 2 months or 3 months identification purpose. So these colors also identify different things: total revenue of the current period, total cost of the current period. So these are some sample generic charts that I have prepared for the presentation. And then when you get your cursor near one bar, it gives you more additional information about what the chart represents. So likewise, we have a mini trial balance where you can keep your main accounts, and you can from the first look you can get what is your gross profit, what is your net profit for the given time at the given period. Yeah. And then we have another chart called the top 5 customers by sales value. So the best customer is, I think, the Farm Sprite customer, and then the Solar Technology, and then John Keel's Holding. So likewise, we can arrange top 5 customer. This will be the pie chart. Like that, we can arrange, and then we can make, and then we can arrange all these things. And I move if I move further, we can get this month's sales, how much of this month's sales is there, and then how much of overdue sales invoices, how much of overdue sales amount is there. So even we can drill down, we can go to see more, and then we can check what are the invoices pending. All these things will be showed you here, right? And we have a good drill down facility up to the invoice level that I will show you once I go further to the chart of accounts. And then here we can arrange some favorite accounts, and then we have sales quotations, sales orders, sales invoices, what are the sales, how much of pending sales quotations are there, how much of pending sales orders are there. Likewise, we can arrange these things. So this is the role center. This role center can be customized according to the user requirements and the permissions that users are granted. Okay. And then first I will start the overview from the general ledger with the chart of accounts, right? So as I said, this is such a role center, and here we have the chart of accounts, or else we have in Dynamics we have the option of doing the live search. You can just search here chart of accounts, and then you will get the chart of accounts. So once you click it, it would be directed to the chart of accounts. Right. So this is a chart of account list where you will get all the accounts related to the company which has been created. Right. So all these accounts uh, are consisting of account types as heading, begin total, end total, and the posting accounts. Like for an example, these are the posting accounts, and we can have a heading account for those. We can have the end total account for those. To get the totals, we can have the end totals of those. So this would be discussed in detail in our future webinar sessions. Okay, so I will give you a complete overview of this chart of accounts today. Right. So all these posting accounts are the accounts which will have a value directed from the sub ledgers, customers, items, vendors, whereas others are totaling accounts for the posting accounts. Right. So according to the user requirements, according to the customer requirements, we can prepare the chart of account as per the Dynamics requirement. So if you give us your chart of account, we will prepare the chart of account. Chart of accounts which we can get. If we go, there's a report called GL balance, which you can get, which actually first you can filter to a date. If I filter this one, January, so here you will get for a given specific period, what is the balance of the GL accounts left. Okay, so we can even select the set of GL accounts also, and then if we give the date filter from this state to this state, how much of balance is was there in that relevant GL account, we can check from this report. Okay, and then we have this facility of going and drilling down facility. As I said earlier when I show the role center, we have this drill down facility where you have the ability of, now there are 9.5 million in the sales retail. Okay, so we can drill down that. Okay, and then here we got all the entries, how this 9.5 million has come. We have got this all entries, and we have this facility of drilling down furthermore to the invoice level also. So if we navigate this entry, here there is a postal sales invoices. We can drill down to that document also. So this is the postal sales invoice. So we have that much of facility where you can cater to drill down to your entries as well as to your documents. Right? So if there is any issue or any question, you can raise up your hand, right? And then if we move further, we have another report called the GL balance by dimension. This dimension also we will be presenting you in detail what is this dimension, but I will give you a small idea what is this dimension. Dimension is, so this is a report, so first I will run this report and show it to you. Right. So dimensions are some set of features that Dynamics have. So suppose for the finance managers, they will be needing to get department wise what are the expenses that has been created. So admin, now for an example, the first one is we have cleaning expenses. This cleaning is a GL account. Okay, so this cleaning expense, the total amount is 8,360, and then for administration it is 2,960 for head office for sales. So likewise, when you are putting the entry there, you can tag the relevant department dimension, and then you can get a report like this. So for finance managers, they can actually have the total amount cleaning expense, and then you can divide it to the department wise. Okay, so here also we are having this drill down facility where you can drill down to the entry wise, as if it is an invoice, if it is relating to a document, yes, you can drill down to the document level, right? So here we have another feature that here now I drill down the, here we have the GL accounts, and here we have the departments. Okay, so if we have other than the department dimensions, suppose we are having some other dimensions also, so that also according to the customer requirement, yes, we can have this. So for an example, if I showed you, if I for the lines, I don't want GL account, I want industry sector. So if I choose industry sector and I show matrix, so then industry sector wise I can get the departments, how much of cost has been allocated, and how much of cost that has been incurred. Okay, so these type of things can be done through the dimensions. So in detail we will be discussing in the future webinars about these dimensions. So this is the basic understanding about the dimensions. Okay, and if I go to another report, okay, receivables and payables, here we can get the receivables and payables, right? For an example, receivables and payables in the sense, now for the January month, how much of customer balances due, how much of customer balances was due, and how much of vendor balances was due, and what is the difference of those balances. So it's like the profit. Yes, so these kind of reports we can get through this chart of accounts, right? So here also, as I said, we have this drill down facility where you can drill down to the invoice level, the entry level, those type of things, right? Okay, so this is the overview of the chart of accounts. So now let me explain the masters. There are many masters in Dynamics. Now I will explain you the main three masters, where item master, customer master, and vendor master. Okay, so if I click here the item master, we even can search, as I showed you in the chart of accounts, we have the live search option in Dynamics where we can search, and then here this is the item list where we can keep many number of items as much as you can, right? So I have filtered, I in this database also we are having some many items, but I have filtered these items for 3 to 5 items, right? So then when I filter these items, this is the item list. So currently we have 5 items. This is the item list of our company, right? So using this item list, we have something called the fact box. This is the fact box we are having. Okay, so by looking this fact box, now suppose the battery, using this fact box we can identify how is the functionality going through this battery. Suppose the purchases are 481,000, sales are 152,000. So statics can be measured through this item list even. So if I press here the inverter, it will change. Now it is as the inverters ones. Okay, sales quantity is 13, purchases quantity is 45, quantity on purchase order is 5, quantity on sales order is 5. So using from the item list, we can get the summary detail of the statics of this item. Okay, so if you want to create a new item, yes, you have the ability of pressing this new button and you can create a new item. So I will go to one item card and show you the battery item card. This number will be automatically generated where we will be predefined and keep, and then we can put a relevant description or name, and we can have the base unit of measure. And then in the fact box I showed you some statics. Those can be those. This is the item card. Last page I showed you the item list. So this is the item card. So here also we can see those statics. Inventory is 373, quantity on purchase orders is 25, quantity of sales orders is 29. So you don't need to get into this item card and watch this. You have the ability of going to the item list, and from the fact box you can check all these things. So if something more need to be added, yes, we can add those also. So here inventory is 373. So 373 batteries are there in our company. So suppose a company will be having like not one location, there will be 5 to 6 locations the company will be having. So we have a report now. 373 is the whole inventory, but we have a report to check how much the location wise inventory, right? So we have something called items by location. So when you click the items by location, you will get the inventories location wise, right? For an example, if we have the forklift, so these the blue green head office Nugegoda Palawatta locations which I have created, okay, for your understanding. So here from this one, the item is forklift. The forklift in the blue location there are 30 inventory, in the green location there are 69, in the head office there are 30, Nugegoda 102, Paravata 65, and also we have this drill down facility to go to the item ledger entries and check what are the entries that has been occurred. Okay, so battery, inverters, panels, all are same like that. This is the item list, and we can go to the item card also. So one of the main special functions which Dynamics has is the look and feel is same for many windows. Now suppose now I showed you the item master. Now I will show you the vendor master. Okay, so the vendor master also, the look and feel is pretty much same. So users are it is very easy for users to learn well. Okay, since all the things are the look and feel is very same. So now I selected the vendor list. So vendors also you can create as much as many vendors you want, and then I in this database also we are having many vendors, but I have selected only 4 vendors for you to get more clear understanding. So I have Technomatics, QuickSpace, TechTac, Morrisons. Okay, so if this is also same, we have this fact box here where you can get a clear understanding by looking in the vendor list even. So Technomatics, the balance is 1 million, right? Total is 1.9 million. How much of overdue amounts here? You have the ability of drilling down the facility. So using the vendor list even we can drill down this. And then if you want to create a new vendor, yes, you have the ability of pressing the new button and then create a new vendor. So this is the vendor list. Now I will go to the vendor card. So sorry, Technomatics vendor. Okay, so this number will be automatically generating based on the customer requirements. So we have the ability of manually let the users manually enter the vendor number, or else it could be automatically generated based on the number series that you are having. Okay, but the number is the primary key where the duplication should not be happen, and Dynamics don't allow duplication also. You can have many names same for different vendors, but not the number. Okay, so here also, as I said earlier, we can check the balance due amount, total balance amount, the balance due amount. So from here also we can check, and from the vendor list also we have the ability of checking, and we have the ability of setting the addresses and all, the primary contact code, contact numbers, all the things, all the details can be added. And if you have a requirement of to add more fields, more things related to your company, yes, we can add those also. Okay, so this is the vendor card, and I will now go to the customer card. So as I said earlier also, the look and feel is same, right? So customer also, we can create as many customers as can. So I currently has choose only 3 customers: Solar Technology, Kronos International, Wiki. And then if we have the Solar Technology, in this fact, here also we are having a fact box where you can check the balance of this Solar Technology 2.4 million, and this is the customer list. And now I will we can create a new customer also, and then I will go to a customer card also. So here also the look and feel is same, pretty much same from the vendor and the customer, the item, all the things are pretty much same, the look and feel here also. So here also the same scenario, the number could be automatically generated or can be manually entered, and then the balance SCY balance due is automatically populating through the transactions which we are doing. And then you can have the addresses, contact name, phone number, those things you can have, right? So this is the masters. This is the main master: item master, customer master, and the vendor master. There are many masters, banks and all fixed assets. So those things we will go in our future webinars, right? So now we will go and we will enter a purchase order for a specific item, and then we will sell it through a sales order. We will go one process, not deeply, but the overview. Okay, so as I explained earlier, we have this option of searching purchase orders. Okay, or else we have the ability of taking the purchase orders to the role center, and then if we get this purchase order to the role center, yes, you just have to press one button click, and then you will have this purchase order list. These are purchase orders. Currently there are many purchase orders, but I have filtered only 3 purchase orders, where now first the first purchase order is for Technomedics. Okay, you can have the vendor details of those things, right? The amount. So a purchase order is a memorandum document where no GL entries, this will not hit to the GL accounts until now, right? So I will create a new purchase order. So we have to click here new, and then we can create a new purchase order. So here we can enter the vendor number in the sense the vendor primary key, right? Or else you can even search. So suppose I need Technomedics. See, I even can search from the number, or else I even can search from the name also, right? So we can select Technomedics, and all the other details will be automatically loaded. And then we can have the document date as today date, right? And the posting date also today, right? And then we can have the vendor invoice number. Vendor invoice number is Technomedics invoice number. Okay, we can put a number here. And then if I further explain this purchase order, right? This purchase order, this is the document of the purchase order, where this purchase order document would be divided into 2 types. Sales order also the same, right? I will first explain the purchase order. So purchase order is basically divided into 2 types, basically the header part, and then here comes the line part. Header part is a place where we will enter the vendor details and the posting date and the payment methods, payment terms, your currencies, everything would be entered in the header part. And then we have the line parts where you can enter the items for that purchase order, right? So here you can select the type item, right? And then here you can select the item from our item list, right? Our item list would be loaded here, and then we can select the item. So I will select our battery item, where you have the ability of searching here, live search ability. If we search battery, yes, that will be coming. Okay, then we can enter a location code. I will select the blue location, and then we can enter a quantity, right? How much of quantity you are going to purchase, and then we have the direct unit cost would be automatically loaded from the item card, right? Item card consists the unit cost, the unit price, every detail item card consists. So this would be loaded directly from the item card, where the user has the ability of change in the direct unit cost also, right? So 1500 is the unit cost, and it's the line amount is 15,000. That means 1500 into our purchase quantity is 10, and that is 15,000. Right. So as I said earlier, when we enter purchase order document, this won't be affected to any GL account because this is a memorandum account. Right. Okay. So how can we hit to this GL entry? So the vendor should be credited. All those things, the item should be debited. All those things should be happen. So we have this option called the posting option. When we post this purchase order, then only it will be affected to all the GL entries. We have two options, post and preview posting. Preview posting is before you post, before you hit the GL entries, you can do a preview posting and check to what accounts after the posting happens, what accounts would be affected, right? So the accounts, the posting groups will be discussed in the near future, right? So here we can post this, and we have three options as receive, invoice, receive, and invoice. Receive is the GRN part. If the purchase order goods have to be GRN before the invoice happens, yes, we can do that also. So we can press the receive button and then we can GRN. And then we have the invoice button also. Invoice option before GRN, if we want to invoice, yes, you can do the invoice also. And we have both options as receive and invoice, where we can do both GRN and invoice at the same part. So I will select that, and then this will be posting. Right after this posting happens, this purchase order would be deleted from our purchase order list and would be moved to the posted purchase invoices. So as I said, do you want to open the posted invoice? Yes. Right. So here you can check the posted invoices. So now it has been affected to our GL account. Okay. So 15,000 is the total value of this purchase order, and the posted purchase order number is 108059. Keep in mind that number, because now I will show you how to do the payment for Technomatics for this relevant purchase order. Okay. So for doing the payment, we have an option called our payment journal. Okay. So using the search bar, I will search the payment journal. Right. So this is a journal. We have to put a journal entry for the relevant purchase order, and we have to set off. Okay, so we are doing against an invoice, right? So here we can enter our posting date. So I will have the posting date as August 12th, and then the document type should be payment, and the document number would be automatically generated based on the we can predefine actually those things. We can predefine and keep the document numbers to be generated automatically, so there will be no duplication occurred. Okay, so now here we have to select the vendor for who are we doing this payment. So I did the purchase order for Technomatics, so we can select the Technomatics vendor, right? And then we are doing this payment against Technomatics. Okay, so we have one option called apply entries, where you can choose the relevant invoice here. Here we have got all the invoices against the Technomatics vendor. Okay, so I told you to remember that number 108059 is that number. Okay, so this is the number here 108059. This is the overdue invoice. So from here the 15,000 remaining amount, right? So 15,000 was the total invoice value, because 1,500 we purchased 10 of the quantity, and then here we have the option called set applies to ID. When we select the set applies to ID, okay, this would be generated, and then when we press OK, the relevant 15,000 amount would be loaded automatically. So this is where we want to do the payment for a relevant vendor against the invoice. So we can use this function. This is very easy. So this payment would be against invoice, and that invoice would be set off, right? So I will show you that in more detail we can load the vendor ledger entries. Okay, and I will show you the, now here is the invoice, right? So this is the invoice which we were posted 108059. Okay, so here just see, we have a remaining amount of 15,000. Okay, so the remaining amount, here we can see the remaining amount also. So now here we will do the payment against this one. So we can select the bank account type, bank account, and we can select any bank account which we have. I have created some sample bank accounts. So I will select the Sampath bank account here, right? And then we can post this one. Here also we are having this preview posting option. Before posting, we can check what are the entries which this will be affected, right? So I can post this. 9 the journal lines were successfully posted, and now I will go to the vendor ledger entries and I will show you, right? We can do a live search here. Okay, so this was our invoice, right? So see, the remaining amount is 0, right? Why is this remaining amount 0? Because we have done a payment. The payment is up. So here we have an option called to see the applied entries. What are the applied entries for this invoice? Okay, so when we press the applied entries, yes, we have our payment. We have a payment has been done for this one, 15,000 payment. This is the document number. So we can check, as I said, we have this drill down facility to check to the invoice document wise. What are the things engaged to that relevant entry, right? Okay. Then if there's any questions, you can raise up, right? Okay. So now we have purchased one battery item, 10 quantity of battery items, right? So now we will sell to a specific customer, right? So here we are having, as I explained, we can search from here. Okay, I'll search from here, or else we are having this sales order, we can take it to the role center also, right? So I'll do a search, sales order. Okay, right. So this is the list of sales orders which has not posted yet, which is there to be posted. So what I will do is I will create a new sales order, and then I will show you. So as I had explained earlier, the look and feel is same, pretty much same with the purchase order. So the users can easily understand and easily get a user training. If one process is okay for them, yes, the same look and feel is same from the other processors also. So as I explained earlier, number can be manually entered or number can be automatically generated. Okay, I just press and enter, this number would be automatically generated. All right, then I will choose a customer. Here we can choose a customer. I will choose one customer. Okay. So this is our customer list. We can go to the customer. So I will choose a solar technology customer, right? Okay. And then as I explained earlier, we can have the document date. The document date can be automatically generated. Okay, as a server date. And the due dates we can change. The user has the ability of changing the due date, the delivery date, and the requested delivery date. All these things the user have the access of changing as per the requirement. Okay, and then as I explained earlier in the purchase order also, we have the header part as well as the line part. The header part, we will enter in the sales order, we will enter the customer details, the payment method, the payment terms, the ordering date, posting dates, everything can be entered in the header part. And in the line parts, we can specifically enter all the items, right? So we can select the item in the line items, and then we can select the item. So I purchased the battery item. Now I will sell the battery item for solar technology. Okay, so I will select the battery item, and then I can select the location code, from which location should this item moved. Okay, so I purchased for the blue location and I will deliver it from the blue location also, right? Then I can enter the relevant quantity. Suppose 10 was purchased, but I will enter just 2, True quantity I'm selling to Solar Technology. Okay, so 3,000 rupees. The unit price would be automatically generated from the item card. As I said earlier, the unit cost was also automatically generated and the unit price was also automatically generated. So the user has the ability of changing the unit price. Those would be actually, those are permission levels. If the user can't change the unit price, yes, we can give them the permission to not to change the unit price. And then you can give a line discount, right? You can give a line discount, and then okay, so that's it. Now we can post it. So this is a memorandum document which is not affecting to GL entries. After we post only, it would be affected to the GL entries. And then there are approval levels also. We can send it to approval before posting. Before posting, we can send it to approval. Those also can be managed, right? So here also we are having this preview posting and posting, right? So I will just enter the post button. Here also we are having, as I said earlier, ship, invoice, ship and invoice. Where if we press ship, the invoice won't happen, the invoice part won't happen, only the shipping part will be happen. The item would be moved, the item cost would be incurred, right, for the cost of sales. And then I will, for now, I will do the ship and invoice both at the same time. Okay, so once this is done, once the posting is done, as I said earlier, the sales order would be removed from the sales order list and it would be moved to the posted sales invoice. So you can here open the posted sales invoice and then you can check the posted sales again, right? So 6,000, as I said earlier, I have sold 2 of them, right? And then we have this option. Now, as I said earlier, I have purchased, I did a purchase order and I posted, and then I did the payment to a vendor, right? Here also we are having, I should receive money from the customer. So we have an option called the cash receipt journals. Okay, cash receipt journal, we have the look and feel is same as the payment journal, and then we can select the posting date. Yeah, the document type would be payment, and then the document number would be automatically generated. As I said, we can predefine and keep those things. And then we have this customer, and then we can select the customer. Our customer was Solar Technology, right? Can everyone remember, right? Solar Technology. And then after selecting the Solar Technology customer, right, here also we are having apply entries because we are getting the customer from the payment from the customer for against an invoice. So we have this apply entries. Okay, so here we get the list of to apply entries, the list of invoices that are pending from this customer. Okay, so this is the invoice. So here also we are having, we have to press the set applies to ID. Okay, so again this invoice only we are doing, and then the amount will be automatically generated, and then we can select the Sampath bank, we can select any bank to which the posting should be happen, and we have the preview posting option and we have the posting option also. So once we post that, those would be where the customer balance, the customer due payment will be released from our due payment invoices, right? So this is the whole process. This is the whole simple process, starting from the purchase order to a sales order, starting from where the item gets into our company and gets out to from our company. In detail, we will be discussing all these things, the purchasing part, the sales order part. So this is currently the overview of the system, right? Then I will show you how to do a bank reconciliation, right? So I will go and show you the bank accounts. So I have created some sample bank accounts. Okay, here we can search bank accounts, and then here we can go to bank accounts. So I have created some sample bank accounts here, NDB, Nation Trust, BOC, all these things. So first I will go to, so if you want to create a new bank account, yes, you can press the new button here, and then you can create a new bank account, and then you can press you can enter a number in the sense, now NDB, we can select the NDB bank. Okay, NDB, and then you can select you can type the full name of that, and then here appears the balance, the current balance of this bank. Okay, and then the last statement number, the last payment state, the balance last statement. The balance last statement will not update automatically because I will show you why. Because the first time only I am doing the bank reconciliation for this. So in the second time, the balance last statement would be automatically generated. Okay. So what we will do is we will do a bank reconciliation for this bank. Okay. So here we will go to the role center and we can search bank reconciliation. Bank account reconciliation, right? Okay. So here I have created one sample bank account reconciliation. Okay. So here, if you want to create a new bank account reconciliation, yes, we can click here new button and then a window would be open like this, and then we can select the bank account number, the relevant bank account which we need. Okay, we have the all the bank accounts which we need, and then I will select the NDB bank account. Okay, and then the statement number would be automatically generated, and then the statement date. Suppose I want this bank rec to be done for the month of April. Okay, so what I will do is I will enter the statement date. Okay, as I explained earlier, the balance last statement would be automatically generated here. So since we are doing the bank reconciliation for the first time, this would not be automatically generated. If we are doing it the second time, yes, that will be generated. Okay, so and then we can enter the statement ending balance. Okay, what is the statement ending balance of for the April month? Okay, and then I have just entered it's 20,000, right? I will explain it. Okay, so here after entering all these things, bank account ledger entries would be loaded here, right? So bank account ledger entries would be loaded for the month of April. All the bank account ledger entries would be loaded. So the current bank account ledger entries is 21,000 here. Our bank account balance is 21,000. But I have entered here our statement, our bank statement ending balance is 20,000 because suppose there are 1,000 rupees bank charges. I will show you how to record those things also because 1,000 rupees is not in our bank account ledger entries, right? So we should reconcile those things also. And there's a special feature in Dynamics where we have actually you have to contact the bank, your bank partner, and get us if you can get a CSV format. Okay, if you can get a CSV format of your bank statements, yes, we can directly import that bank statement to our Dynamics. So it would be really easy rather than entering almost all the entries. You can directly import the bank statement using this option. So you can, I think for our many customers, we have done those things. For many banks, we have done those things. So just request the bank for a CSV format, and then we can apply to our bank statement, right? And now I will currently show you how to do a manual bank reconciliation. Okay, so here we have the option called suggest lines. So once we enter suggest lines, the ending date will be automatically generated and we can press OK, and then a suggestion has been entered here. Okay, suggestion in the sense the bank account ledger entry balance would be entered same as the bank statement lines. So these are the bank statement lines, these are the bank account ledger entries which we are having. So as I said earlier, suppose our bank statement has what we call bank charges, as I said, right? So 21st there are bank charges. So here I can enter the bank charges. Okay, and then how much? It's 1,000 rupees. Okay, so I will enter here. Fine. Okay, now I will show you how to match. So what is this matching? I will show you what is this matching. Okay, first I will remove all these matching. Okay, right. Now when I remove all this matching, there is a total difference of the bank statement of 22,000 rupees. Okay, so if there is a total difference of 22,000 rupees, the bank reconciliation is not done. We can't post a bank reconciliation until this total difference becomes 0. Okay, so what happens is from the bank statement lines we have to match our bank account ledger entries, right? So I will show you how to match it manually. It can be automatically matched. As I said earlier, it was automatically matched, but I will show you now how to match the bank reconciliation manually. So John Kill's holdings 25,000 is to this bank account legend with this document number. So we can select this bank account John Kill's holdings this entry, and we can select this entry, and then we can have the match manually. And then office supplies here, we can match those things, and then we can have the match manually. Phone fax, likewise, it's very simple. Those things can be automatically matched also. We have this option called match automatically. So once we press it, it will be automatically matched, but I'll show you how to match it manually. But still there's total difference of 1000 because it's bank charges. In our bank statement lines there is 1000, but not in our bank account ledger entries. So how to handle this type of a situation? Okay, so here we just enter the bank charges, and then we have the option called transfer to a general journal. Okay, when we place this transfer general journal, the relevant bank charges entry would be transferred to a journal entry. Okay, so here see the amount would be automatically loaded, nothing to worry, right? And then we can select here our GL account. What is our GL account? So I have created a sample GL account as bank charges. Okay, so here bank charges account 1000 would be debited, and the BAL account type would be bank account. Our bank account is NDB bank. For this NDB bank we are having this bank charges. Okay, so pretty much the look and feel is same as the payment journal, the cash slip journal, as I said earlier, as I showed you earlier. The look and feel is very much same. So now we can do the posting. Okay, and once we do the posting, this is automatically updated, right? So once this is automatically updated, here we have this option to match this relevant one also. So once this is matched manually, yes, now we have the ability of posting our bank reconciliation, right? So this is a simple way of doing the bank reconciliation. So I think your bank partners will have the CSV format, so we also can get the CSV format, and then we can import our bank statements, and it would be automatically matched and come. So you just have need to overview and look into those things, and then compare it and just do the posting. So this is how a bank reconciliation done. Okay, so anything issue, any issue, any things you can put it on the table? Okay, fine. So now I will go to the reporting stage. Okay, there are many reports, many standard reports, industry based many standard reports which is there in our Dynamics. So I have selected some main reports. Okay, so I will go through some of the main reports. So first report, item age composition value. How is our aging, our item aging using a value? So here we can enter a date, we can enter a period length, and then we can enter a shelf number in the sense there are many filtering options. If we don't need every item for the item aging, yes, we have the ability of filtering. So I have filtered because there are many items in my database, so I have filtered for one option, and then if I make preview, okay, the report would be generated, right? So so we have this filtering options, many filtering options. Using this filtering options, so suppose going forward your company would be having many millions of transactions, so there's filtering options to filter and look all this. So this is the item entries, our battery, inverter, panels, transformers and power lines, panel rings. This is the item aging. So using the bucket feature, you can enter these bucket things, and then you have the inventory value for the month of May, for the month of June, July, like those things. You can have the item age composition by value, as well as we have this item age composition by quantity also, where this is the filter page. Okay, this is a filter page where you can do the filtering for this also. Okay, so once you do the filter for these ones also, yes, you will come the item age composition by the quantity, right? Battery, inverters, panels, what is the item age aging composition, what is the aging as a quantity, right? And then we have our age accounts, customers age accounts, receivable aging accounts. So here also the same thing. First page would be the filter page. You can filter to any amount. Okay, you can filter for a date, you can filter for a 1 month, you can filter for customers, for not for all the customers, but for some of customers. You need the aging for some customers. Okay, and then you can press the preview. So I have take only for 3 customers to make you understand, right? So here we have the age account receivables for Solar Technology and John Keys Holdings. Okay, so here we have this option code in this age account receivable. We have this option as print details. Okay, once we click the print details and make the report preview, detail invoice wise you will get all the details. For Solar Technology, invoice wise you will get the aging, right? For first 30 days, for second 30 days, for the other 30 days, 90 days, all those things for bucket in a bucket variance you can get in the invoice level. So for mainly for finance managers, those would be many very important, right? And then we are having the customer detail aging, right? Where here also same, we can enter any filtering option. We have the many filtering options here. Okay, and then when we enter the filtering options here, we can check what are the now, as I said earlier, there are invoiceable. We can check what is the remaining amount of this customer, right? For which invoice, for this invoice, what is the remaining amount, how much of months are due for this customer. So using this customer detail agent, you can actually filter for one customer and check how is this aging, right? So these things we can be done. These are the main reports which we are having. And then we have this customer top 10 list. Okay, so we can check the top 10 customers our. Okay, so once we run this report, we will get all the top 10 customer list, as well as we will get the according to a bar chart also. See, FarmSprite is our best customer for a given for the relevant period. We can enter a period in our filter page, and then we can see for that relevant period who is our best top 10 customers. For FarmSprite is the best customer. Here we can have a bar chart also. Bar chart representation also we are having here. So likewise, we are having those also. And then customer item sales, right? So custom item sales also we are having here, as I said earlier. Here this is a very important report because customer wise, what are the items which has been sold to a customer. Suppose for Progressive Home Furnitures, these are the items which has been sold. 14 items has been sold of amount of 498. So what is the profit? Based on the profit, based on our cost price and based on our profit, this would be automatically how much of profit we are having and what is the profit percentage we are having. So those kind of things we are having. Okay, custom item sales, for you can filter for customers, and then for one customer and check what is the profit percentage of that relevant customer. Everything can be searched. Okay, so I showed you all the receivables, the customers one. So I will show you the age accounts payable, where we are having our vendors reports. Okay, then if I go through this report, preview this report and show you after entering a few filtering options. Here also we are having the ability of checking the vendor, our suppliers aging, age by due dates. Okay, so I have selected some 3 vendors only. So Technomedis vendor, okay, we are having a balance of minus balance for more than 91 days. We are having balance quick space. So using one report, we can check all these things. So Dynamics have all the standard reports according to the industry wise. So this would be very important for all the customers because no need of developing reports, because you got many reports, many standard reports which will be cater to you and more than cater to you. So like those, there are many reports, many standard reports which Dynamics will be catered. Okay, so any questions you can ask, right? Fine. So now today sessions we have identified from the whole Dynamics, whole overview of the finance, the general ledger, the account receivables, the accounts payables, the bank reconciliation. This is the overview of the whole finance. So we will discuss in detail what are the things we are having in the accounts receivable, what are things we are having in the accounts payable. We will take one day each day and we will discuss in detail. Okay. So this is it for today's session, and now it's the time to open up the table for the Q&A session. Okay. Any question?
Our participants can share your questions or raise your hand, and we will give you a chance to ask your question. Meantime, our moderator will share a link on the chat where you can, just give 1 or 2 minutes of your time, and please give your feedback about our session today. What are the things we need to improve, and what do you think of our content? What you would suggest to do in future to improve our webinar sessions. So likewise, you can share your thoughts and feedback on the link. We would really appreciate that to improve our quality of the webinar in future. And meantime, in our upcoming weeks, every week on Thursday from 4 to 5 p.m., we will be having a webinar session. So next week, Thursday, we are having a session on our Navy Apparel vertical, which is specifically for the apparel industry. Navy Apparel vertical, the planning module. And week after, that is on the 26th Thursday, we will be having another session on Dynamics 365 Business Central Finance module, a detailed overview of a submodule. So we will be sharing those details on those webinars with the attendees who have joined today and who has missed the session today. So we will keep you posted on our upcoming webinars through direct emails as well as through our social media. So if you have any questions, please, this would be the time to ask, and we will take one by one. If you need any session, demo session for you on a kind of a one-to-one basis, do let us know. Then we will get in touch with you and arrange a session for you. So with that, we will wrap up the session for today. Thank you very much for joining in, everyone. And we wish you all the best, and have a safe evening. Good night. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a safe day.